Morning.
Do I have a
Morning,
password?
Internet. You do, but I'll have to tell you to it later because nobody wanted to do it yesterday. And I have to reset up the Hangouts page.
I just don't understand why I never connect as.
Hold on, people, we're having technical difficulties. Michael doesn't know how to social media.
Hey, no, I do know how to social media. Hey guys,
No, you
welcome to
don't.
the Foolish Tech Show.
You're gonna have to do it.
We have 1 hour ahead of us to undertake a variety of topics. We have a different guest each day, and I'm your host for the Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time show. My name is Michael, and I'm joined by the usual cast of characters here. We have Proctor there on the end in the blue shirt. We next to Proctor we have Brantley, our COO. Next to him, and Proctor's our CFO, by the way. Next to him is Johnny. She's our social media engineer slash expert, whatever you want to, or social engineer slash expert. Then we have John, our famous CEO, or Nick rather, our famous CEO in the beard, which, if you couldn't tell, is our mascot as well. Next to him, we have Tank. Who is our resident tank commander, and as you may have guessed by the picture, and next to him is myself, obviously. Um, so the topic I had chosen on today, I really sort of like the format of some of Brantley's shows that he's done in the past, and I wanted to do something similar to that, and he did kind of have some similar interests in some of the technology things that we look into, particularly relating to privacy. So today I wanted to kind of continue in that vein, and maybe not quite as technical approach to it, I would say, as his was setting up the servers and whatnot in Linux. But I wanted to go over VPNs, a general overview of them, and how you may want to use those, or how you may currently be using those in your day-to-day computing experience, both in the office, at home, and on the road. So I thought that could fill up some time this morning, and I hope all of you will join us on to watch, obviously, at foolishit.com/live. That's the way it's going to be, and
You
always.
can go to you can go to foolishtechshow.com today.
Oh, we've also registered
Yeah.
foolishtechshow.com. Okay, yeah, and that'll work as
That'll
well.
just it'll send you there.
And we have a new
Actually,
IRC-based.
either link actually redirects you to foolishit.com/foolish-tech-show. So
Sure. Well, we have a new IRC-based chat. So if you guys want to follow us through that, you can find the details at foolishtechshow.com or at foolishit.com/live. Okay. Now that we've gotten all that out of the way, so I wanted to discuss a little bit about VPNs. VPN is a virtual private network. It is basically, you can consider it as a tunnel through the internet. Basically, you want to take a private network, let's say your home or work network, and transmit that information through the internet. And so it creates a tunnel, a traffic channel, basically between two locations, and it will route all the traffic through that. And also, that tunnel is also encrypted. Typically, it doesn't have to be, but typically in a VPN configuration, you want to do it for security. So that tunnel is encrypted. So anything that occurs within that tunnel, basically all your internet transmissions, would necessarily then be encrypted by use of a VPN. And this is a common practice used by businesses for their remote employees to gain access to internal resources on their network, and it's very effective. But as you know, as all of you are aware, there are a number of public Wi-Fi hotspots, basically situations where you don't have any security or privacy or anything you can depend upon locally, and you don't want your transmissions to be monitored or to be hijacked or anything like that. And one of the better or best ways potentially to do that is to implement VPNs over your otherwise whatever other internet connection you have. And I wanted to go over a couple of ways that I went about doing that. Anybody can set up probably the largest widely used package is OpenVPN. So let's see here. I'll just go to that website. Let's see if I can share my screen. I don't know that it really matters, but is that really that? Okay, so I guess it's, there we go, this window. But yeah, OpenVPN is probably the most common option that people use. It's can be installed under any operating system virtually, from your standard Windows PC to Linux to Macs to Android and iOS, as you can see there. So it's pretty much standardized, and you can set this up yourself, but that's the complicated path. Basically, and setting up all the routes and doing those details. Now that's a great technical discussion, of course, the nuances of that process. But I would like to go through a more cleaner implementation of it, and also make you aware of some third-party hosting that will give you this VPN functionality without you having to set up your own server and host it or otherwise buy it in the cloud. These companies typically also specialize in anonymity, and they come in various packages. I would say the most common price point right now for things of that nature, let's see, are about $3 to $4 per month. I would say, roughly $40, roughly $40 a year for the lower priced ones. The common point is $3.33. But you got to look at the details of what these services give you. One of them is privateinternetaccess.com. And these guys I kind of like. They offer you 5 simultaneous connections to the VPN. So if you have multiple devices you want protected, that's probably a good idea. Now just remember that there is also the potential, if you have a more advanced router, you could potentially load a VPN client or OpenVPN client on there and connect to you, and then route all your traffic. So any one of potentially 100 devices connected to your router could then benefit from the VPN access, and that would show up just as one device being used over it. So that's very convenient if you wanted to share it amongst more people. But if not, then it is very important to note the number of simultaneous connections. Some of them offer 3, some of them offer 5. It just varies. You'll need to look out depending upon where you go or what your preference is. I was turned on to PIA because they have a lot of they have plugins for Kodi. I don't know if anybody's used XBMC or Kodi, the media center application. Runs on Windows, Linux, any device virtually, for phones as well. But it has a plugin specifically for private internet access. I have no affiliation with this company, by the way. It's just something I ran across and generally recommend because of my experience with it. It offers reasonable bandwidth too, from what I've seen in comparison to some of the alternatives that I've been made aware of. But basically, it's very easy to get started with it. It's as easy as just signing up for an anonymous account through them. So basically, you pay with your credit card, and they send you back a username and password, and that's effectively it. And then all their apps, the phone app, their Windows application, the Mac, all those applications would be very straightforward and simple to set up. You would just provide those single set of credentials. If you need more advanced options, for instance, PPTP PPTP, LTTP, socks, things of that nature, you do need to generate another and additional username and password that can well, be used for that. But generally, it's very easy, and there's just one set of credentials you have to remember to get up and running with it. Let's see. Now, there is occasionally a need for more advanced setups. Let me see here. With it, but I haven't had a case to do that. It was very straightforward to get set up on Kodi, for instance. It's just a searchable add-on. You search for PIA, and you can add it in there, and then just put in your username and password, and it creates VPN connections for you. So you don't have to. And that's the beauty of it. You don't want to understand the nuances of necessarily of setting up the VPN connection, because there's all sorts of options, and you know all sorts of levels of encryption and whatnot, and you kind of don't want all those details. That's one of the things I liked about PIA is that they seem to have a focus on simplicity. So bringing kind of anonymity to the masses in an easy, very user-friendly way. So I kind of dig that approach. And that's one of the reasons why I stuck with it. But let's see. I wanted to. I wonder if that's going to disconnect me. Hey, Brantley, do you think it would if I connected to my VPN?
Yes.
Maybe I should. Yeah, it's going to cause a problem, right? Yeah. So let me start up a virtual machine and see if I can do it that way. So, where is that application? Hold on, guys. Sorry for my lack of preparation. Here we go. Who's messaging me? No, that's not me, actually. Okay, so I've got that where it needs to be. And let me share my other screen. Sorry for the delay, folks. Brentley, do you mind watching the chat? I was hadn't been able to log in for some reason. I'm not sure if I'm doing it right.
Yeah, I'm trying to restart it right now.
Okay. So guys, you can see I have a virtual machine here. I'm going to, it's an XP box. Oh God, I wonder if the client even works under XP. I'm going to attempt to run it, the private. This is the Windows client. So it's installing, it looks like, yay. Oh, we have a new adapter. So, conveniently, it's already got my username and password. Again, this is credentials that are automatically generated. You could see my username. Thank God you can't see my password. I didn't really test this out before I tried it here, so, but that should be fine. Let's see. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Now the region is interesting. This is where you can see basically how many locations it has around the world. I think it's pretty it's pretty good. It's everything I need or would want. I can do it from a wide variety of countries, as well as many locations in the U.S., Canada, and Australia. But yeah, it's pretty much covers you for wherever you might be. So you can pick a server that's close to you for performance concerns. Auto generally though seems to work pretty well. Under advanced, we can see it's primarily going to be set to use UDP. These are the detailed settings, but I find it's very unnecessary to use them. So the VPN kill switch is a unique feature that I find that's in all their tools and their apps. That basically ensures that you're anonymous. It will basically kill your internet connectivity when your VPN isn't established, and that's very great from a security perspective. I did not see this in the Kodi or XBMC plugin, unfortunately. I would actually have preferred to see that specific feature in it, but it is pretty cool to enforce again the security. That's probably.
Why don't you do a what is my IP so they can see the difference between this?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's start with that. Sure. What is it? Okay, so this is my current IP address. Oh Jesus, I'm just opening myself up to hacking, aren't I?
I wasn't going to say anything. Wow.
Okay, when we post these videos, we're going to.
This whole episode has been Michael is giving away his privacy by protecting his privacy.
Okay, when we edit these videos, we're gonna block out all these little things. But anyway, the point is, let's go ahead and we've got this at auto. We're gonna do yeah, we're gonna leave all the defaults for all this stuff. We're gonna save it, and we've got the guy down here. We're disconnected. We're gonna connect. Connecting, you can see we've got a new connection. It just says 10 megabits, but that really doesn't matter. And now we'll refresh this page, see where we are. Oh, look at that. We're somewhere else. He thinks that's in New Jersey somewhere, probably. New York or New Jersey, somewhere like that. But anyway, it's a great way to basically secure your connections. Again, if every business in the world is doing it and require their remote employees to pretty much use a VPN, I think we owe it to ourselves as consumers to give us the same benefit that they have. For our own protection when we're in public Wi-Fi hotspots, when we're around and about, it's important. This obviously has potential to be used for other purposes, nefarious purposes, but like anything else, a car can be used to rob a bank, a gun could be used to murder someone, various other things that are illegal can be used in an inappropriate way to inflict harm upon someone. However, I believe privacy should be an innate inalienable human right, and I think this helps restore a little bit of it to the current landscape of basically of government monitoring. It's very important, I think. So I would urge all of you to do a little bit of research. I'm not necessarily again private internet access since it's the only provider. What was the other one you recommended, Brantley?
VPN.HT.
UPN.HT. VPN.
Why would it be UPN? We've been talking about VPNs the entire time.
VPN.HT.
Yeah.
So,
and what I like about this is it's actually provided partially through Popcorn Time. So if you use that instead of Kodi, which Michael uses Kodi apparently, entire world take note.
oh Jesus.
Popcorn Time offers this as their VPN option, and basically it gives you all the same features that the private internet access that Michael went over, except it doesn't do all the technical details, but it does have Android clients, and it only allows you up to 3 devices, but I've had extremely good bandwidth implementation through it, so I really like it myself.
But yeah, the choice is yours, and obviously comfortability with the provider. Where the provider is based out of. Some of those things could be deciding factors. Sorry.
I would like to note that Undertaker in the chat said that he uploaded your screenshot of your IP address, and 2,
Thanks, Undertaker. I really appreciate that.
And two, that VPNs are extremely, extremely good if you're using open wireless networks. Because basically what it's doing is it's taking the information from your computer, encrypting it before it sends it out over your network connection. There's a lot of tools. I actually have one here which basically emulates wireless networks and would allow me to see any kind of passwords or login credentials or emails or almost anything in plain text if I wanted to.
Yeah, and you would be exposing yourself if you were at a McDonald's or a Starbucks or any place with a public, a library place with a public Wi-Fi access. Most cities, most places,
But
yeah.
if you use the VPN connection, it will be all encrypted, and I won't have any ability to do anything with it. So that's where this service really comes in handy. And for $40 a year, you really can't beat that extra privacy. Plus, if you've heard all the Snowden and NSA stuff and you're super worried about that, you can get these types of setups to work with that and do things. So.
I'm here with my cell phone, and I have it starting up. It's very convenient on the cell phone. The app starts up at boot up, for PIA at least, and puts a little, I guess like a key thing with what looks like a dumbed down Android robot. But at any rate, it gives you a lot of connection stats. It's useful on the phone, and again, with the kill switch, it can be basically it won't allow you to connect otherwise with your phone. So again, it will kind of enforce that security for you. So I think that's, but you always have the option of turning it off, of course, if you don't want the VPN. So it's totally at your control. Yeah, just because it seems a little bit more user friendly. What?
You dropped out a second because of your VPN, it sounds like. Show your screen again. Go back to that page.
Wasn't I on it? Oh, it stopped sharing my screen? Oh.
You dropped out and dropped back in. So. Are you connected to your VPN on that machine right now?
Yes. See the green icon down here? I'm in Italy. Oh, actually, I'm in Italy. Oh, that's good.
Disconnect from it.
Okay.
Now refresh that page. And scroll down some. A little bit more. I like how cartoony they are. Like, they're very lighthearted about it.
Oh, no! Oh, why did you? You sneaky bastard! You sneaky bastard!
No,
you didn't see that coming, Michael?
That is the problem. I mean, I told him to disconnect from his VPN. What did he expect? That's the biggest problem I like to point out, is that it's not just anyone, it's web pages. Everything can see where you're located at. And as you saw, we could see a clear map of where Michael lives and is using internet from right now. And now he has a different one because he's on his VPN.
Yeah, very little information, as you can see, is being provided by the VPN provider that I have. To the point where they're not able to specifically locate me within any reasonable area. I'm very impressed by that. You saw the detailed information that was being given out when I was not connected to it. So, I believe you guys can recognize the value that we're describing here. It's pretty sweet. And again, the cost is very, very minimal. Very, very minimal. To the point where I would say this is probably more cost-effective than any sort of, people pay for those credit monitoring services and things of that nature, those privacy services and all that. Those are snake oil, effectively. What you need to do is take the security as a personal responsibility and take it under your own control and put it in your own hands and get yourself a VPN. like I said, there's very flexible ways, a lot of flexible ways to implement it. Unfortunately, from the router perspective that I mentioned earlier, it's a little bit more challenging because most consumer routers don't have a VPN client in them. And business routers that might have that capability are typically usually a higher price range and sometimes out of the reach of consumers. But what I would suggest, of course, any DDWRT or OpenWRT capable router can be flashed to those alternative firmwares, and they all contain an OpenVPN client that you can use to connect. So that's an alternative if you have a router that can be upgraded to those. Typically, that only is Buffalo, Asus, and a very limited selection of other models from Linksys, Belkin, and Netgear. But I would probably stick to Asus or Buffalo, somebody where you're sure that you will get a compatible router if that's the route you wanted to go to cover your entire home. Again, the cool thing about that is that it cuts down your account usage, your simultaneous device usage. It'll just appear as if it's one if it's done on your router, versus otherwise, my phone eats up one, this Windows computer here is eating up one right now, this virtual machine, and so is my Kodi box in the other room.
What was awesome is I just now got the DVR stuff off so people could rewind, pause, everything.
Okay, yeah, so can you blank out all that stuff? Can you turn that off so they can't go back and see my stupidity?
Yeah, I guess I'll edit it after the show.
Okay. So that's really what and the ease of access. As you saw, I mean, you sign up for the account. That couldn't be more easier. And the process for signing up is as anonymous as you could hope. With the small exception of the credit card information. And I was up and running. So basically I got the email back instantaneously after purchasing, and I was connected to the VPN. Download.
Man, you keep dropping out. It must be your VPN, or you need a format.
It's the VPN is on the virtual machine, and it's not because of the VPN. We know Google has been having issues recently, and
only for you though.
No, not only for me. You realize how long it took us to get this? Look, when we tried to start this the show today, the Google thing,
to the Google Plus page.
When we started, all right,
Tim added me on Steam. This can't be good.
Do you want to undermine every one of my shows, Brantley? Just curious, because I just want to know what to expect.
Undertaker mentioned something in the chat. He said, "This is why I love being in Australia and in a rural area." His IP IDs is 200 kilometers away. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
And I think, are you on fiber or DSL there? I know that that's one of the things. We have another friend from Australia that we talk with on Saturdays a lot. He has fiber going into his house, and he was really surprised that everyone had cable, mostly in the States, and we were all like, yeah, it's because of the monopolies they basically impose upon us. Really, if anywhere in the US you only have two choices of internet providers, either you can go with your cable service or your DSL service. If you're in one of the lucky states that Google has implemented Google Fiber, or one of the lucky cities, not even states, that Google's implemented Google Fiber, and you can get fiber connection with super fast speeds. There's a few places that Verizon's done fiber, but really we don't have any fiber at all in the States here. So if you are on fiber, you're on DSL only. Yeah. But y'all have like speed boost and stuff, so you actually get faster speeds than we would even get with ours. So he was talking about putting in D-slams or something like that.
You dropped out again, Brantley.
No, you keep dropping out.
All right. Well, maybe I should leave and jump back in. I'm going to do that to avoid that. Sorry, folks.
Yeah. Yeah, so fiber's being steady rolled out there, and I mean honestly, it's a plus that the government owns all the networks there, because that's what we're dealing with here. Is the local companies own all the networks, so they really don't have any competition. They don't have any reason to upgrade their networks. So it's kind of we kind of got the short end of the stick here, and Google's trying its hardest, but laying fiber on your own is a little bit difficult apparently, so that's why most companies failed at it so far. But everyone that has Google Fiber that I know loves it, so hopefully that'll go worldwide, and maybe they'll come over and take over some Australia parts for you too. You're in, Michael. Are you chatting to me, or are you not on?
I'm in the show. I'm in the show. Yeah, so I can't get into the chat. I can't see the chat. Other than that, I'm okay. I think I haven't dropped out yet again, so hopefully that's
Yeah,
fixed.
I think maybe that's what that config is for. Let me try that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes, please. Hopefully Google will take over and come out here.
I hope so too, but at least it's not. At least Google's, keeping their word with the cities and their rollouts and stuff. And you still see them actively doing it. But Verizon had offered FiOS to a lot of places, promised FiOS to a lot of places, and apparently decided they're not going to expand FiOS at some point, and then is being sued by some metropolitan governments that have basically said that they reneged on their deal, to bring fiber to their municipalities. So, just wanted to mention that. Yeah.
Alright, people may have some issues connecting to the live chat. Seeing if I can work on that right now. I think I know why. We're having to set all of these things up in Linux, and I've never done these type of things before, so...
Yeah, bear with us, some growing pains, but we're going to share the experience with you guys, and I think that's good because...
Proctor, do you still have a window open
we're not
for
all
the
experts
GUI
in
chat?
everything.
A window open for the GUI chat?
Yeah, the Kiwi.
I might. Why do you ask?
Because I see your foolish Proctor still in there. Oh, I hate that I can't use...
Australians set to pay 50% more for apps after Apple price spike. So, and it affects Australia, Sweden, and Indonesia. So basically, if you live in Australia, you will pay 50% more for your iOS software than, Americans doing the same. Excuse me, people here doing the same thing.
Alright, the IRC channel is going to restart here, and hopefully that'll make it so people can join the Kiwi chat. For you, Michael, if you go to the BitSync folder, there's a folder called Hex Chat. Copy that over to your downloads folder and run Hex Chat. You can
So I can't log in from the page, from this.
Probably can after it restarts here, but
Well,
Hex
that's
Chat
what I
is
want.
way better because you get way more stuff from it.
What do I need? Okay, what do I need to?
You don't want stuff?
No, I'm gonna get Hex Chat, but why do I need to go to the BT Sync? Why can't I just? Or can I just...
There's one that's already pre-configured, and I don't want to go through the other 15 steps that I would have to tell you how to do after that. So just take that one and use the one that's pre-configured.
Oh, Christ. You
are
are... Okay. So I'm assuming it's in the... So I'm assuming... What folder is it in? Where is this shit?
Just in the root of the bits.
It's in the root of the bits. Where am I looking? Oh, it's in the, no, it's not in the root. It's in the subfolder called hexchat. Yeah, okay.
Copy the whole hexchat folder. Don't run it from there. Copy it to your download folder.
Why?
Just don't run it from there.
I know, but why would I put it in my download folder?
I don't care where you put it. Don't put it in your program files, though, because it's not going to copy.
I know. Yeah, I just started working on computers today. Shut up! That's low and out of line. I'm gonna start stopping your social security number every time I freaking get mad at you, and that's quite often.
Wait, your social security number is your city and state?
Shut up! Shut up! I am moving. I am in an RV right now. Thank you very much. You know, this is gonna kill my cell time, my cell data. Oh, you know, this is the work environment that I have to put up with on a daily basis. I have a nickname.
Yeah, use Michael_FoolishIT. The QE chat should start working now. There we go. It was because I was limiting users per IP. Alright, so that's on.
Is my username Michael?
You haven't joined yet.
I know. Is my username Michael?
Michael_FoolishIT.
For the username or the nickname? Does it matter? I guess
Both.
Use it for both. And morning, MM. How are you doing today?
Mmm.
So QE chat's now working, and that means I should be able to go around and put it on the other pages. We're going to start trying to promote this more, and we'll all try to hang out in IRC most of the day once everybody figures out how to do that, actually. Then we'll have some different channels set up. And when you beat MM, we had so many post-Monday technical issues, it's not even funny today.
Manic Monday, isn't it? Why was I just... Don't do that.
Google just did it to everybody, it looks like.
Michael's virus
is infecting.
Oh, puppet girl. Mm-hmm.
At least it kept us on air. That's good.
That's nice. That's nice. That's nice.
Michael found us. I should have connected to my VPN. No. Well, we are past the 40-minute mark. Michael must have gone to do something else in show.
Oh, yeah.
As this is norm.
As does happen. Mayday Malone from Cheers.
Are you using SSL in IRC?
No.
What?
All the stuff is configured. Why are you doing any of that?
Because
All
it's
you
not
had to do was put in your
auto-joining me.
nickname
Not
and
auto
say join.
It's not auto-joining me. I did what you said. It's not doing that. Let's see, close. So I'm putting in my nickname, Michael at FoolishIT, and I'm putting my username, Michael at FoolishIT, and I'm hitting connect. And it says found your host name.
And then you have to have patience. Yeah, you can run it through the screen with d7II. You have to have your Fabs auto backup in the third-party tools folder, and you'll want to make sure it's named something Fabs auto backup. I think there's several different ones you can have, but if you just have the default name, that works the best. Michael, I think you need to format your computer.
Jesus,
Jimmy,
no. You are
I did not say Michael at Foolish IT. I said Michael _ Foolish IT. And if you read what those messages were saying, it's telling you that that's not a valid username.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, so you should be able to run it from the screen in d7II. Oh, from the SFX Mini, you are correct, sir. So for the SFX Mini in your config, you actually have to do something a little different here. So let me get my screen sharing here while Michael figures out how to pay attention to directions. Look at that, he joined. Good job, Michael. I knew you could do it. All right, and now he thinks you were talking to him.
And I can't multitask. I can't look at the chat and talk at the same time. It's way too complicated.
You can't even add my name if you're like, you can't just type things like that in a public chat, Michael. Alright, so I'm going to pull up my d7II and show you what's going on here, Give me just a second here.
Yeah, if people listen to the show, I'm pretty sure they'll know what's going on.
Well, remember, they have a delay, so when you...
Okay, so I have to...
I was yelling at you. You have to just say Brantley at the end of it, or board at the end of it. Like,
oh, is this...
correct.
Oh, okay, over now. Yeah.
When you're talking to a full entire parking group of things, like, you have to tell who you're talking to. You can't just, like, you basically just came in a room and said SFXU. Like,
whatever. This is why I don't participate in social media.
Alright, so I have my copy of d7II. Now, when you're running from an SFX Mini, basically it's only downloading your configuration that you have stored. So that configuration doesn't store any of your third-party tools, or if you're on dcloud only, it doesn't store any of your reports. If you set up d7II with an FTP server, you can store your reports, and if you have an FTP server already, or vice versa, you can store your third-party apps there for those specific ones. So if you go into the configuration and custom apps, under integrated apps, you have a section where you can add some of the third-party tools. So here, basically, you would want to have Fabs Auto Backup on an FTP server that's accessible from the internet, and have it located here. Point to mention, though, is that to use this feature so that you can use that with the SFX Mini, you do have to have your servers config and FTP server set up so that it has your information in there. You don't have to use this for your dcloud, but if you have an FTP server set up, I don't see why you wouldn't, because you have the added ability of being able to store your reports there. But basically, you have to have an FTP server set up and configured in here. And then under Custom Apps, Integrated Apps, store the path under that user's home folder. So whatever user you have set here, the home root folder for them, which is where these folders will also show up, needs to be configured so that this one you put in the path, like example here, /apps /fabs autobackup.zip, and you can put it in there. If you use this upload, it'll go that way. And, well, is that being stored on your FTP server? Yeah, so you can't use it using dcloud because we can't store third-party tools or even your tools on our FTP server for legality reasons and various things like that. Correct. So you'd want to set up a FTP server and manage it that way. Again, the added benefit there is you can also store your reports there as well. So that's an extra plus of doing that. But that would allow you to use Fab's Auto Backup and 991 through d7II. Yeah, no problem. And also, I'll post in the chat here, we do have a pretty good walkthrough of setting up an FTP server, and even recommended going through Amazon. I mean, extremely cheap. You get a super fast server with pretty much 99.9% uptime. I know Amazon did go down a little bit for some major people earlier this month, or last month, one of these 2 months recently. But we use it all the time, and it's been a great host for us there. So highly recommend that. But here is a good walkthrough on an FTP setup. So if you wanted to use that, you can follow that guide, and that sets up a basic FTP server and even shows you how to set it up with an Amazon micro instance, which is like a couple dollars a month in bandwidth usage if you use it extremely heavily even. I think it should even be cheaper than that. So we highly recommend that route, and it works really well for us, like I said. So check that out. And basically it just goes through the, because I didn't give you operator status, Michael. You're not just going to get it.
Everybody else has it. Everybody else has it. I'm the only one without it.
Because I gave it to them, and you can't social media, so I was doubting giving you operator status anyway.
Okay, fine.
We'll go through afterwards and talk about how to set up everything off air. Because you'll be able to give your own self operator status. But joining and quitting the chat's not going to get it there. And so MM has a question when he's in a remote session using the SFX Mini. He ends the session, but the d7II folder and reports in the root directory are not deleting. And that is going to be a configuration option under the End Session tab. So check this out. Share my screen here again for you. So under the End Session tab, you have a close and delete this app in all tools, and then a delete local reports folder, local reports directory. So right there, delete local reports directory, and close and delete this app in all tools. You obviously don't want to do this when you're running it from your flash drive. You would only want to do it when you're running from your SFX Mini. So you would want to probably save this as a second config. So normally what I would do is I have my local config that I would run off my flash drive, and then I have a second config named like remote config, and would use that as the automatically selected for my SFX Mini. So my SFX Mini would select from that remote config. You do have to remember that you're keeping up with two different configs at that time, so if you change it, both of them there. I think if you have both of these selected, it should be deleting the reports out of there. The only thing it doesn't delete is like the actual d7II folder, but all the apps and tools should all be gone out of that. And if you have the delete local reports directory, that should be deleting as well.
Well, this is a nice ending to the show to cover d7II.
Yep.
Questions answered and it all. That's it's really good. But
Yeah, so the folder itself stays, and that's because you're running a tool from inside of that folder, and it can't delete that folder. It can only delete the file that it's running from, kind of stuff. And once it does that, it can't delete that folder. It's a lot of hairiness when you get to trying to delete yourself, kind of thing. So, yeah, it should be a fully empty folder though, so it just has the folder name there. But the local reports, if you have that configured, that should be deleting all the local reports and stuff. And Nick, when you have delete local reports directory, does that delete that shortcut for the local folder apps if you have that configured under reports?
No, because that shortcut has been used by other people for other things in the past. People
Okay.
actively on the forums have promoted the use of that area of that shortcut for distributing things like a shortcut to their website or just, whatever they wanted to do there.
Yeah. So you probably don't want to have this enabled if you are going to be deleting the local apps, because that's going to leave that shortcut there to an empty folder, basically. So you probably don't want to have this one configured, and it shouldn't be adding an extra icon to their desktop, leaving those folders there if you have it configured to save somewhere on the local drive. Like here we have it saved into the dsupport online folder, and you would also want to make sure that this is set to use the same folder that you set here. So instead of having it saved to the desktop, when you create the SFX Mini, you would want to have it set to save to that same folder that you have configured here and in the reports section, so that all of those are going to the root of their hard drive, and same there. Oh, if people flip out about the root of their directory, for that, if they have that much, like I had very few users that ever went into the root directory of their hard drive. So if they are doing that, you're still connected with Screen Connect. So probably just remember to go in and clean up that folder for those extra customers that go through that. But if you haven't named your company name, that normally gives them a lot more trust and faith in having that folder there, so that they shouldn't be as worried about it. That's why I recommend having it named your company name. so that they know anything in that folder was done by you and left by you. And if they're having you remote connect especially, they trust you and got you there. So cool, no problem. All right, so we went over some complicated VPN stuff, learned more about Michael's privacy, that if you missed it, I'm going to have to edit it out, or he's going to whine about it all the rest of my life.
Look. The point of this show was not to
wait,
expose
all right,
my privacy.
Michael, we already got your whatever. So said he's going to call that folder virus. Excellent idea. I'm sure.
Well, that'll definitely.
You'll get a lot of repeat business from it, but they may be claiming warranty work. See, that's a double-edged sword you're following there. But you do have that option if you wanted to do that. It's not programmatically set to not allow you to do that. So, phew, I almost deleted my app and folders on my local system. I did not want to do that. All right, so cool. Glad we could help you out this morning, and we went over some VPN stuff. We're a little bit past our normal scheduled hour mark, but I know we did start a little bit late, so let's give it a few more minutes, I'd say, unless anybody has anything pressing. Anybody else have anything they want to bring up for today to talk about?
I'm good. I got out everything. Just consider all the uses of VPNs, in your life when you might need it, particularly public Wi-Fi hotspots. And your cell phone particularly. I think it would almost be worth the price just for the protection when I'm on the road with the cell phone. When I'm sitting in IHOP or sitting in wherever.
has a question. What's the latest on D7X? And Nick went over the Kill 'Em All status update, and that's going to be the first module that came out yesterday. So if you check our YouTube channel, or if you're on thefoolishTechShow.com or foolishit/live, the previous episode should have that listed there. Let me double check, because I might not have added it to that playlist, actually, now that I think about it. But
it should be added automatically.
Oh, cool.
There's some keyword filter thing that it's supposed to do, but no.
Yeah, I did add it if it wasn't, so it's all good there. So it's in the previous episodes or under our playlist for the Foolish Tech Show, or if you just check out our YouTube channel, it's got the recent video from yesterday. So, cool deal. So we got that, and it's going really well. He's got some excellent progress and excellent ideas. We talked about some design features / argued about some design features yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
This is a pretty good show. It was actually about 2 hours, so probably want to just have it playing in the background while you're doing some other work and getting some things done there. But we did go over some awesome ideas and some extra features that are going to be added specifically for the D7X, D7II subscribers, Kill 'Em All version. There are going to be 3 different versions of that: a free version, a paid / deinstaller license version, and D7X specific license version. And each of those is going to give you extra features and ability. And basically, once that module is out, he'll have the groundwork for the actual D7X EXE executable laid out and be able to quickly work on that after getting that first module out. So. And that first module is actually taking into account a lot of the other modules: Kill 'Em All, deinstaller, defunc, debug, and IFEO modifier, and a lot of stuff is going into Kill 'Em All. We're kind of tying it all in under that one branding name, one app. So lots of smoothness, lots of everything you need in one place type of thing. And D7X subscribers, D7II subscribers are going to get the full functionality features out of it and have a lot more options going forward with it. So it looks pretty cool. Like I said, check out that video. You'll be able to get the latest on where he's at with that and how it's going. So yeah, that was a fun show yesterday, I thought.
Yeah.
We had some really good ideas come up. Filtering for company name, I think, was the biggest one. File search
I
stuff. So
enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. That was. I can't wait to work on that.
awesome.
So much to do. So much to do. I'm actually, still in the mulling over the layout thing. And I think the only thing I'm really having trouble with is whether or not to try and separate the white and black listing from the interfaces of the actual functionality that they are for. You know.
Yeah. Well, I tend to lean to prefer more in a single window pane instead of having multiple panes, as you know. So.
Yeah.
But I can see your design concepts of wanting to have the additional window. And it actually may be worth it because while you're working with those files, you'd be able to go back and start kill them all pretty quickly from there. So, yeah, I'm sure you'll come out with something great either way.
Yeah. Either way, I think the final I can say the final lineup on the kill 'em all window is the kill programs functionality, the running programs, an allowed programs tab which will pop up on demand as you run the kill programs feature. The prevent programs, which will be the IFEO modifier and some software restriction policies, like crypto prevent will do. And then there will be the file search and registry search of features of malware scan or defunct, which will include both custom user-defined abilities as well as the predefined things that we have in there right now. Did I say the uninstall programs in the middle? Yeah, right after prevent was uninstall. So the uninstall. So that would be the final lineup of the kill 'em all window. And beyond, hopefully that aggregates everything that one could use manually in D7X and aggregate all of that in one spot. Then we will have a separate window for productivity workflows and automation. The separate window will consist of one primary tab with some basic setup capabilities, and then you will create your own tabs after that with your own lists and queues of any combination of D7X internal functionality, repairs, tweaks, or custom third-party applications. Each tab that you create would represent its own auto mode.
Awesome.
And then, of course, there'll be a configuration for those internal functions, repairs, tweaks, and custom apps. There'll be that interface, and then the updates and information interface, which I'm going to be happy to put in there because I'm going to put in that RSS feed. So our blog posts, when you select the category for like D7X updates, it will be the only thing, and it will go to the RSS feed that gets pushed to the app. So they will get to see just that, but it'll be from the blog post. So all we have to do for news and updates to get the word out there is to post on the blog.
Sweet.
Yeah,
no, that would be great having the integration of the RSS into it. Very nice.
And then I don't want to just to ruin something that is going to be slow to develop, I think, but just to go ahead and ruin it, I guess, the configuration beyond that for D7's general behavior and technician preferences, and that will be split up, basically. so that there will be two different areas with the same options. And one will be per technician, and one will be for an administrator, which can enforce or restrict technician ability to make those settings happen or not.
Sweet. Yeah, having management over those.
I like that.
Yeah.
Good.
And it will also allow different technicians to do different things too, but or not. That's what I'm aiming for there, with the permissions system, and then the server thing is on the horizon. Immediately there'll be a LAN component that would sit on a network, and just a server on your network, and just facilitate third-party app updates and downloads and things of that nature that the clients could pull from the network. But I actually had some crazy ideas of a server component for like a Windows server that's specifically like an actual Windows server, a web server with WebDAV and Exchange and controlling resources for other functionality. But that's just some crazy stuff that I'm thinking about later on.
So a lot more management features coming in.
Involving your own hosting of your own dcloud server, basically. It would be like that optional thing, not like that. That's why that's, I can just say, oh, that'll be a later thing, but that's where dcloud is going. When you host your own dcloud, we want to do some neat stuff there. But
cool.
Gotta take a phone call. Hold on.
Does someone have me selected there? Because it's not jumping around on screens for people talking anymore for me. We'll just assume it's Michael since he's not listening anymore. Alright, so that was our show. Thanks, MM, for asking those questions and getting us some D7 stuff out there. I know all the rest of our customers appreciate seeing that stuff as well. Definitely anyone out there watching, feel free to ask us questions. I'm sure that there's other people that have the same questions, so we're more than happy to answer them. And you learned a little bit about VPN setups and what they're used for, and some options that are out there for you.
Good info.
So, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. And I think that'll meet us for our hour today. So I hope everyone enjoyed the show. We'll be back on tomorrow at 2 p.m. And yeah, no doubt. Thank you, MM. Proctor, did you want to keep Wednesdays or did you want to take Thursdays?
I'm going to have to do Thursday. My kids are out of school at 12:30 tomorrow, and I'm going to have them.
Oh, we could have them on the show. That could be your topic.
He's like, I'm going to have my kids.
I didn't mean it like that.
He's like, oh, darn it, yeah. But yeah.
That would be a good topic. How to deal with your kids while you still have to work.
Take your kids to work with you.
Computer repair business. Manage a computer repair business.
Yeah,
I've been in Proctor's store to visit before, and his kid's been there, and it was fine. But
yeah, just like having the office dog.
It was kind of cute, actually.
Oh yeah, my a dog I had a number of years ago named Lucy, and I have a dog named Lucy now, but I had a previous Lucy. She could press Alt Control Delete.
Awesome. That's awesome.
I remember. Is this not the same Lucy I remember? Right?
That's the Lucy you remember.
The Lucy I remember I know.
She could lock a workstation. Press Alt Control Delete, then Enter.
She could do a lot of other. Tricks too, mostly involving alcohol. I think somehow. Beer bottles and things. She could balance them on her nose, and she just loved playing with them.
Good, fun stuff.
Drinking from them.
So
She
I
likes
think
Starbucks too.
I know, right? Crazy
so.
dog.
I think for our stuff tomorrow, it'll be a Johnny Tank Day. Johnny Tank, did you all have any topics that you wanted to cover, or did you want to continue on with our learning stuff? I think the file system was where we were going to head next after, since we did registry last week.
I think learning stuff is probably always a good idea.
Yeah, you can never learn too much.
Well, I didn't know if y'all had something
Until your
specific
brain
that you wanted.
explodes, then you learn too much.
Then by that time, it's already too late, and it doesn't matter what happens. I don't
I
have
see
any.
it like I see it like an episode of Married with Children from back in the day when Bud decided to teach Kelly like how to pass like high school finally or something, and he was explaining to Al like because she got really smart and but she forgot all of these like very simple elementary things that even she used to know, and as Bud explained to Al, it was like pouring water into a glass that was already too full to begin with. Like something had to come out, you know.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I always liken it to that, but
He was really upset because it was their bonding moment going over football. She was like a football genius because of that. He loved it.
oh,
She couldn't do anything regular. Regular. All right.
Regularly.
So, so we'll be back on tomorrow at 2 p.m. Join us then. We'll be going over some file system details and things like that. So it should be another good show like our registry one was last week. And yeah, so thank you everyone for watching, and I'll go ahead and get this edited so we can put it up on our YouTube, and we will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.